Hello world, Shelly here, and it is time for your Friday Foundation Fix, where you can get your fix of foundation reviews in between foundation fests. And today I'm going to check out a foundation from a brand that is made right here in my hometown, Harrisonburg, Virginia. It is the brand With Simplicity. They are a natural organic beauty skincare brand, and I've got their liquid foundation here in shade 2, Cool Medium, and this comes in 8 shades, retails for $34 for 1 fluid ounce of product. And if you missed my Get Unready with me, I will put a whole bunch more information about this brand in that video. I will link it down below if you want to check that out, because I recently met the owner, had the opportunity to visit their store and take some pictures and video, and I am also trying out some of their skincare. So my Get Unready with me is a first impressions, and then I will follow up in about a month with the results with before and after and all that good stuff. But today we are going to focus on the foundation. If you happen to be watching this right when I'm posting it, they do have a sale going on right now through February 14th, 2018. With promo code Labor of Love, you get 10% off all of your online purchases. So if you get this from their website, you can get 10% off. I am on their website right now. Let's take a look at some of the claims of this foundation. It's a natural and organic botanical liquid foundation, flawless coverage, free of harsh chemicals, parabens, and pore clogging ingredients. It'll feed your face with nutrients and leave your face looking flawless. Perfect your complexion with a finish that is polished, lightweight, breathable, and has natural sun protection. It is physical or mineral sunscreen protection. There's no specified rated SPF on this product, but it does contain the titanium dioxide and iron oxides and zinc oxide, so that is happening in here. Just to give you some idea of the ingredients in here, it is vegan and non-GMO, gluten-free. It contains, I'm going to read the ones I can pronounce. So aloe leaf juice, water, so it's a water-based foundation, glycerin, rice powder, can't pronounce that, squalene, shea butter, chamomile, vitamin E, vanilla, oregano leaf extract, thyme extract, olive leaf extract, rosemary leaf extract, lavender flower extract, golden seal root extract. There's a lot of natural good stuff in here, and like, that's the end of it. The things I can't pronounce are natural things I can't pronounce. So really, this is, no crazy chemicals. Everything that is organic is indicated on the ingredient list with an asterisk, so you can see that. They recommend that you apply this with a brush and blend it in that way. I'm going to, of course, do my usual half face with a sponge, half with a brush, just to see how those application methods compare. This is oil-free and touted to be great for sensitive skin. So let's take a look at some swatches and see how this shade 2 compares to other shades in my collection. Alrighty, let's swatch. First up is today's foundation, the With Simplicity Liquid Foundation in shade 2. Second is the MAC Studio Fix Fluid in shade NW10. Third up is MAC Studio Sculpt in shade NW15. Fourth, I've got the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place in shade 1C1 Cool Bone. I'd say that's probably the most similar to the With Simplicity. And last, I've got the Smashbox Hydrating 15-Hour Foundation in shade 1.0. On one side of my face, I'm going to use my EcoTools Total Perfecting Blender Sponge. On the other side, I'm going to use my e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush. Kind of a new favorite going on right here. And like the skincare products, this was sent to me by With Simplicity. I am under no obligation to review it or make any videos about it. I am not sponsored. They did not pay me to say anything. They want my honest opinions if I choose to review it. So you guys know the dealio here. I give it to you good, bad, and ugly whenever good, bad, or ugly happens. So that is what I intend to do here. Shake it up a little bit, and I'm going to just put 2 pumps on my palette as I usually do. That's a pretty big pump. I'm going to go a little bit less than 2. Here's your consistency check. I have primed. I've already cleansed, moisturized, sunscreened my face, and primed with the Too Faced Hangover 3-in-1 Replenishing Primer Setting Spray. It is winter time. We are dealing with a 43-year-old face here, and I'm throwing some extra challenges at it today because I'm getting over a cold, and I don't know how well you can see, but I've got like some orange peel dry skin and extra redness going on over here from blowing my nose and Kleenex, little bit over here, so this is really, 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 really dry. I have dry skin anyway. I've got some sunspots and sun damage that I like to cover up. I've got fine lines going on around my mouth and my forehead that foundation likes to settle into, and my pores are especially large right now because my skin is so angry from having this cold. So we are throwing some serious challenge at this foundation today. Let's start out with the sponge side. So this foundation is fragranced. It's not any added chemical fragrance. It smells delicious. I think what I'm smelling is primarily the vanilla. It makes me want to eat it. Don't eat your foundation, but it is fragrance. So if fragrance is a turnoff for you, it's pretty doggone noticeable. Oh, but it smells good. It makes me want to bake or something. I mean like cookies, not my under eye. With a sponge, I would say we are getting probably high light coverage. I can still see my sunspots and freckles kind of poking through, but I am getting very nice balance covering up the redness that's going on my cheeks here. Very natural looking finish so far. Let's try the brush side. I'm getting maybe a tiny bit better coverage with the brush. I would say both sides look equally nice in terms of their finish. I don't think I have a preference really. I think it looks really nice on both sides. So I'd say if you're a sponge liker, go with your sponge. If you like a brush, go with the brush. I would say this is a pretty neutral shade, leaning maybe slightly yellow undertone, slightly warm undertone. It's a smidgen darker than I would normally wear in the winter. I think this is probably going to be a perfect shade for me in the summer. I think the shade number 1 was too light for me, so if you are slightly more pale than I am, then take a look at shade number 1. But overall, I'd say this is a solid medium coverage. I see that my brush has shed on my cheek. I'd say we're getting medium coverage. I'm going to go in with just a smidge more to see if I can build up the coverage just a little bit on those spots where I like a little bit more coverage. This builds up very nicely. I think as high as you're going to get is a solid medium coverage. I think this is a beautiful finish. I feel like it looks very much like skin. It's very natural. I can still see enough of my skin texture and in a good way that I don't look like I'm wearing a mask of makeup, but it is evening out my complexion. It is doing some smoothing of the texture that I don't want to be visible. I think it looks like one of the most natural finishes that I've seen on my face in a while. My pores are still visible. It's not blurring my pores. I think if you want things like that, pore blurring, I would choose a smoothing or pore blurring primer. I picked a hydrating primer because my skin is so incredibly dry right now. So those are things that I feel like at this level, since it's not accentuating them, they can probably be smoothed out with combining this with an appropriate primer. I don't see any settling into lines at this point. For as dry and orange peely as my face is right now, I think it looks incredibly smooth, and I can still smell the fragrance. So if you are anti-fragrance, it does still smell, even though it's been on my face for a few minutes now. It smells delicious. I feel like I want to go to a bakery, but that's where we're at right now. So I'm going to go put the rest of my face on. The time is 12:34 p.m. and I will be right back. Alrighty, I am back. Everything blended out just fine on top of this foundation. I actually think after wearing it for a bit that it is a very nice color match. I will come back later on today with a daylight check-in so you can see what it looks like outdoors. But indoor lighting, my impression right now is that the shade is really nice on me. There's no oxidation that I can tell so far. No settling into lines, nothing funky going on. Everything is looking good. So that's where we are starting out on the rest of my face. Back to the Glam Bronze. It's my favorite color. I love it. And highlight is Incandescent Strobe from Hourglass. This is one that I like, that it's just kind of a nice natural sort of highlight. Not too blingy, not too over the top. Blush is Tarte in, if I could get it open, Party is what they call it, with like a lot of A's. And my eyeshadow is the Carroty Smoky Palette. And lip is Broken Record, Milani, the Amore Shine. This is 03 Crush. That's what we are starting out with. I'll be back in a little bit with a daylight check-in, then I will come back at the end of the night and let you guys know how everything wore. Hey guys, daylight check-in here, and we are at about the 4-hour mark. And what do you guys think of, I'm using my Canon mirrorless DSLR camera right now instead of my iPhone, because I think the color turns out better or something. But anyway, let me know if you like this better for the daylight check-ins. But like I said, we're at about the 4-hour mark. Color match, I think, is pretty phenomenal. Yeah, I think it looks good. Up close, let's see how close I can get without bouncing you guys all over the place. Everything looks fine so far. My blush bronzer highlight is still visible. I feel like nothing is breaking down, nothing is settling into lines at this point. I think we are looking good. So I will be back this evening with a final check-in. And by the way, it really needs to like hurry up and be summer, because this whole like being freezing cold during daylight check-ins, no bueno, no bueno. Hey, it is 9:08 p.m. and that means we are just past the 8-hour mark. And let's see how the With Simplicity foundation is doing. I forgot to mention earlier today that I did set this foundation with powder. The owner of With Simplicity had said to me that for longer staying power to set the foundation with powder. I am trying out the With Simplicity Natural Organic Mineral Setting Powder. This is 2 ingredients, I believe. Yep, mica and organic aloe powder. Aloe vera powder? That seems pretty awesome. So I did set my entire face with this powder, and let's take a look at the foundation. One more thing before we get there. I have mascara flakes all over my face. I've got them all the way down everywhere. Do you want to know what mascara I'm wearing? I'm dumbfounded by this. Trying it for the very first time. Dior show. I'm wearing freaking Dior mascara and it flaked all over my face. Dior mascara flaked all over my... Really? Yuck. No. Bad. So let's take a look at this foundation. I'm really impressed with how well it has held up. I don't think it's severely wearing off anywhere. It's just barely starting to wear off around my nostrils. But if I look at my chin, I don't really see much redness coming through, very minimal. If I go up, I've got no settling into my smile lines. The area around my nostrils, which is literally my skin flaking off, doesn't look that bad. It looks about normal, which, considering the horrific condition of my face right now, I'm shocked that it doesn't look worse. Going upward, I'm also trying out the MAC, the new water weight concealer that they've got. Just so you know, the under eye, it looks really, really dry. Like, I'm not a fan of the concealer. I've worn it a few times now, and I don't think I like it. It looks drier. It's supposed to be a hydrating concealer, but you're just getting a bunch of reviews all at once today, aren't you? Everything is still in place. I can still see my blush bronzer highlight. My forehead does not have any settling into lines. I do not think there was any oxidation. This foundation has been very, very comfortable to wear. The scent, that vanilla scent, that sort of fragrance that it's got, I would say lasted about 4 hours or so. So it was a prominent existing kind of a scent. It eventually dissipated, but it did not dissipate quickly. Like I said, I thought it smells delicious. I do enjoy that fragrance, but if you're sensitive to fragrance, that might be a consideration for you. So overall, if I had to give a grade to the With Simplicity liquid foundation, based on the solid ingredient deck, the natural organic status of this, the fact that it's very comfortable, the fact that I found a color match, the fact that I really enjoy the finish of it, I'm going to go A-. The downsides, I would say, are there's only 8 shades, so it's a limited shade range. I do wish that it did more to blur my pores. It does a nice job at making texture blurred without looking like you're wearing a mask. So it's not a completely smoothing texture, but it's a very natural look. But I do wish it did a little bit more to blur my pores in terms of things that, as a 40-plus person, I'm looking to camouflage these kinds of things. I think it's a really nice finish. I like the medium coverage. I really like this foundation. I'm going to go A-. We are going to call this a win. I am very happy about that, but do remember, if you are sensitive to fragrance, it has quite a bit of fragrance to it. I'm going to keep playing around with this setting powder. The next time I wear this foundation, I'm going to try my typical Laura Geller Balance and Brighten to see if that feels any different at the end of the day. I'm going to start a new series called Foundation Follow-Up, where every month or so I will take a look back at all the foundations that I had reviewed and give you updates, like if I've found any ways to make lesser foundations work better, or if, anything has changed about my opinion of a foundation since the review. Normally what I do is, if anything changes, I will go back on the review and I'll pin a comment mentioning what changed. But I think I'm going to start doing these videos. Look for something about a month from now with some updates on some of these things. And if anything changes with this one, I will definitely let you guys know. So there you have it, with Simplicity. If you happen to watch this video right when it launches, go to their website. I will link it all down below. You can get 10% off through February 14th. And not sponsored, not an ad. That's my take on With Simplicity's liquid foundation. If you would like to see more foundation reviews, if you enjoyed this one, give me a thumbs up down below. If you have suggestions for foundations that you would like me to check out, leave me a comment down below. You can always search on my channel whatever foundation name you want to see if I have already reviewed it. I've got 60+ reviews already posted. I have also put a spreadsheet up on my website. Go to geekoutofwater.com and click on Foundation Fest. That is a sortable, searchable spreadsheet ranked of all the foundations I've tried and all the data about them. It takes me about a week after I post a review to get the spreadsheet updated, so hang in there if this one's not on there today, but go check it out. Let me know if you want to see any other foundations. I still have a bunch in the backlog that I am going to be getting to. We got plenty of Fridays coming up, so keep your eyes peeled. Thanks a lot for taking some time out of your day to geek out over makeup with me. I appreciate it, and I hope you guys all have an awesome day or night wherever you are in the world. Take care of each other. Bye-bye.